Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news, all right. Folks, buckle up because what's coming out of the NFL rumor mill right now has the potential to shake up the AFC North in a major way. We're talking about a possible blockbuster trade involving one of the league's most explosive wide receivers, DeVonta Smith from the Philadelphia Eagles, heading to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now I know what you're thinking. Is this really happening? It sounds too good to be true. But let's dig into the details because this isn't just some idle gossip. There's real substance behind these whispers, and it could reshape how the Steelers approach the rest of the season and beyond. To set the stage, right now the Eagles are sitting pretty with an 8-2 record. They've been a solid team all season, but reports from insiders like Diana Rossini suggest that Philadelphia is willing to part ways with Smith in a strategic move to free up cap space, about $12 million, so they can bolster their defensive line. The Eagles have been somewhat inconsistent on offense lately, averaging around 21 points per game, which isn't terrible but isn't exactly elite either. Their offense seems to be stuck in a bit of a rut, and with the NFC East being as competitive as it is, they're probably looking to make some moves to stay ahead. Trading Smith, a dynamic receiver known as the Slim Reaper, could be the boost they need to get more flexibility and draft capital in return. Now, DeVonta Smith, drafted 10th overall in 2021, has been nothing short of impressive when healthy. His route running is sharp, his hands are reliable, and he's proven to be a game changer when it counts. Over his career so far, he's amassed over 40 yards receiving with 23 touchdowns. In the 2025 season, he's already been productive with nearly 700 yards in just 10 games, averaging over 13 yards per catch, and he's shown no signs of serious injuries, apart from a concussion in Week 5 that made him miss a game. This consistency and explosiveness make him an ideal fit for a team looking to add finesse to its passing attack. So why would the Steelers be interested? Well, for starters, adding Smith would instantly upgrade our passing game. We've seen flashes of brilliance from George Pickens, but pairing him with a receiver like Smith, who can create separation and make big plays, would give us a true 1-2 punch that defenses would struggle to contain. Think about it. Smith as our WR2 behind Pickens, with the ability to stretch the field and work the middle, would open up so many possibilities for Kenny Pickett and our offensive scheme. It's exactly the kind of upgrade that could push our offense from good to elite, especially considering the importance of explosive plays in today's NFL. Looking at the numbers, Smith's profile is exactly what the Steelers need right now. He's a top 20 receiver in EPA per target, with an average of around 4.8 yards after the catch, and a yards per route run that's impressive for a player of his caliber. Last year, he finished with an 81.5 grade from PFF and over 0 yards receiving, even with some injuries. His route running is crisp, and he's particularly effective on third downs, where he improves the team's conversion rate by about 15%. That's huge for a team like Pittsburgh, which has been looking to sustain drives better and improve its offensive efficiency. Now, let's talk about the strategic implications. The Eagles, with a $15 million cap hit available, are prioritizing their defensive line after allowing over 200 points this season. They're in a position where they can afford to make a move like this, especially if it nets them draft capital and helps them reinforce their secondary and pass rush. For the Steelers, acquiring Smith would be a statement move, showing that they're serious about contending now, not just future rebuilding. It would also send a message to the rest of the AFC that Pittsburgh is ready to compete at the highest level, especially if we can bolster our offense with a proven playmaker. Imagine the impact on our offense. Adding Smith could increase our EPA per pass by around 10%, and with him in the lineup, projections suggest we could reach 0 yards for him this season. That's a game changer for us. His presence would also elevate our offense from averaging about 24.6 points per game to potentially over 27, especially when paired with Pickens, who's already shown he can be a true deep threat and reliable target. The chemistry between Pickett and Smith could really blossom quickly, much like how the Brown-Smith combo worked at Alabama, or how Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen elevated Buffalo's attack back in 2020. Of course, there are questions about how this would happen and what it would cost. The Eagles may want a high draft pick in 2026 and perhaps a player in return, maybe a linebacker or a corner to help bolster their secondary, which has been a weak spot at times. For the Steelers, giving up a future first-rounder isn't ideal, but if it means acquiring a game-changing talent like Smith, it could be well worth it. Plus, with the kind of draft capital the Eagles might be seeking, Pittsburgh could leverage some of our future picks to make this work, especially if it means closing the talent gap and making a real push this season. Now, let's think about the broader NFL landscape. The trade rumors surrounding Smith aren't just about adding a star receiver. They're about shifting the balance of power in the AFC. The Steelers have always been a team built around a strong defense and a smart, efficient offense. But to truly contend with the likes of Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati, we need more explosive weapons. Smith would give us that. His addition would also make us more unpredictable, forcing defenses to account for multiple threats on the field. And that's exactly what we need to take that next step. Plus, this move could have ripple effects in the division. If the Steelers land Smith and maximize his potential, it could leave the Ravens and Bengals even more on their heels. Baltimore, for example, has been trying to rebuild their secondary and improve their offense, but adding a player like Smith to Pittsburgh's arsenal could tilt the scales in our favor. The Bengals, with Joe Burrow leading the charge, are no strangers to high-powered offenses, but if the Steelers can add that extra spark, they might be the team to beat in the AFC North by the time the playoffs roll around. Looking ahead, the trade window is always a time of uncertainty, but Steelers fans should be excited about the possibility of making a bold move that could define our season. It's about more than just acquiring a talented receiver. It's about signaling to the rest of the league and to ourselves that we're not here to just compete. We're here to win. With a healthy Kenny Pickett and a weapon like DeVonta Smith, the sky's the limit for what the Steelers' offense can become. And let's not forget, we've seen in recent history how a single impactful trade or acquisition can turn a team's fortunes around. Think about how the Bills benefited from Diggs, a rival, or how the Jets saw their offense jump with the boost from the trade for Aaron Rodgers. The Steelers could be on the verge of something similar if this move materializes. It's all about seizing the moment, making a strategic move, and pushing ourselves into that elite tier of contenders. Now, I know some of you might be skeptical. Is Smith really the answer? What about our draft picks? Are we sacrificing too much? Those are valid questions, but sometimes to reach the top, you've got to take calculated risks. The potential reward here is massive, a true game-breaking receiver who can help us contend for the Super Bowl and elevate our offense to new heights. The Steelers have a history of making bold moves when it counts, and this could be one of those moments. In conclusion, folks, the possibility of DeVonta Smith heading to Pittsburgh isn't just some rumor, it's a potential game-changer. If it happens, it could set the stage for a Steelers resurgence, making us not just playoff contenders but Super Bowl hopefuls once again. The AFC North is already tough, but with Smith's addition, we could be the team that leaves others in the dust, rewriting our destiny for the 2024 season and beyond. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. Do you think this trade is the move we need, or should we stick with what we have? Either way, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Steelers news. This team is always evolving, and with the right moves, we're on the path back to greatness. Let's go, Steel City.